Hello everyone, my name is Tanusri. I'm from ITC and now I am going to explain some topics in JavaScript. First one, variables. Variables are used to hold the data that may be used again in any part of the program. These variables work as containers for holding the values like numbers, strings, objects, arrays, and etc. JavaScript supports the declaration of variables using three words: where, let, and const. Where is function scoped and traditionally used in older JavaScript but also carries some limitations like unexpected behaviors in loops due to hoisting. Let and const defined in ES6 are block scoped, which means they exist only within the block they are defined in. Let does allow reassignment, while const is used to mark values that shouldn't change during the program's execution. Variables are essential for managing data and enable programmers to create flexible dynamic applications that perform actions based on user inputs or some other conditions. And second topic is arrays. In JavaScript, arrays are defined as an ordered collection of elements. Thus, it can contain any number of elements like integers, strings, objects, even other arrays known as multi-dimensional arrays. Elements is an array can be used accessing using their positions, known as indices. The indices begin from 0. In the other words, the first element is accessed using array followed by the array of index 1. For the second element and so on. It is updated by many techniques such as push, which adds an item to the end of the array, and pop, which removes the last item. There are similar control techniques such as shift and unshift, which control the start of the array. The techniques also contain a collection of functions like map, filter, and for each. They are very valuable for working with collections of data in JavaScript. Now let's move on to the another topic, which is functions. Functions are reusable block of code that calculate a value or performing a certain action. In JavaScript, you can declare a function using the function keyword or an arrow function syntax, which is shown in the screen. They accept parameters and can return a result within the return keyword. If it's not specified, the function returns undefined. Functions make code more modular and reusable, decreasing the level of repetition as well as improving maintainability. JavaScript is a language that allows first class functions, that is, functions can be reassigned to a variable, passed as a function to another function, or returned from another function. Anonymous functions, functions that have no name, can be used as well, especially in callbacks. Finally, JavaScript supports higher order functions, that is, functions that take other functions as an arguments or return them. And fourth topic is objects. Objects in JavaScript is an amalgam of related data and functions usually referred to as methods. They are stored as key value pairs where each key is mapped to a value. Objects can be really flexible and help you represent real world entities in code. You can create an object using curly braces inside which you may define properties and methods. Properties are key value pairs, and a key should be a string type, although JavaScript supports symbols as keys too. The value may be any type, including strings, numbers, arrays, or another topics, or even functions. Functions defined inside objects are called as methods. Objects can be accessed using dot notation or bracket notation. They are the backbone of JavaScript's object oriented nature, so organizing and structuring data is not possible without them. And this is the last topic of our video, which is loops. Loops in JavaScript is the mechanism to run a block of code more than once. Loops are actually very useful when working with collections like an arrays, or when you want to perform a repetitive task based on a condition. The most common loops are for, while, and do while. The for loop typically is used whenever you want to know how many iterations will be going on beforehand. This is made up the three parts: initializing, condition, and increment or decrement. The while loop, while true, executes the main body of the loop repetitively. whereas do while loop will check the condition after the first iteration. Besides those, JavaScript supports more complex looping methods like for each, which could be described as an iteration methods for arrays, and for in or for of for objects and arrays respectively. Loops remove redundant code but enable dynamic processing of data, and there are sample codes for all of these topics which are discussed in the video. Thank you everyone.